Growing up, my 28 brother, 33, was definitely the golden child of the family, as my dad had always wanted a son and he was also the first grandchild. This meant that he had his college paid for in full whilst me and my sister, 31, had to take out loans and apply for scholarships. Our grandparents would always give him better gifts and he was the only grandkid to receive an inheritance from them. Our parents never made him do any chores and would fund whatever new hobby he wanted to try. Despite having everything paid for, my brother ended up dropping out in his third year after failing most of his classes. He has since worked only low-paying jobs and currently lives with our parents with his wife and son, 3 years old. My parents are planning to retire next year and will be downsizing their house so they can afford to. My brother now has to either 1. Move in with another family member, me or my sister, or 2. Rent his own place for the first time ever. My sister has completely no contact with our parents, so they asked me to let them move in with me and my fiancé as we have the space. There is no way I'm going to let this happen. For one, my brother and his wife are both incredibly lazy and do no housework despite my sister-in-law not working and being home all of the time. Second, my nephew is a mini version of my brother and completely spoilt and undisciplined. When I told my parents no, they demanded I help my brother get his own place by offering to be the guarantor. He can't get his own place without one. Their logic is that me and my fiancé could afford the risk, but it's not one I want to take. My brother has since phoned me multiple times demanding why I feel okay with leaving his family homeless and if I think I don't need them anymore because I have an idiot boy fiancé. My parents are also giving me the silent treatment and I'm starting to feel guilty. I could technically afford to be the guarantor, but I don't have much faith in my brother to pay the rent. He's horrible with money and has never had to worry about bills or rent before, so I feel like he'll keep living the way he currently does and just expect me to bail him out. I explained the situation to my sister and she found it hilarious and said he was finally going to have to be an adult like the rest of us. I do feel bad because if I don't help, my parents probably won't be able to retire and they're getting old. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Your parents created this mess and they will have to deal with it. It's sad, but not your fault and shouldn't be your responsibility to fix. Your brother is the one who can change all of this. It sounds like they aren't retiring immediately, so he could possibly get himself to work along with your sister-in-law and save up. He's been given a college education and an inheritance and wasted both. Please do not risk your financial and emotional health over this. If you let him move in, you will be stuck supporting and cleaning up after them for the rest of your life. If you are the guarantor, you're going to be stuck paying their rent for the rest of their lives and responsible for whatever damage they cause to the place. Why would your parents be the guarantor? They could set that up now before they retire. Or do they know he would just stick them with the rent and they want it to be someone else's problem? I can see why your sister has no contact with him. My brother has since phoned me multiple times demanding why I feel okay with leaving his family homeless. That's on him, not you. He has squandered every opportunity given to him. He should be ashamed asking his little sister and her fiancé to support his family instead of going out and trying to do it himself. Your parents aren't even moving till next year, so he has ample time to figure something out. It would just be easier to mooch off you. Let your parents take the risk of being a co-signer. The fact they want you to do it shows they don't have faith in his abilities to pay. One of my cousins, Peter, just had a baby with his girlfriend a few days ago. Peter and all his siblings all have very stunning blue eyes which they inherited from their mom. They always get compliments on their eyes. Peter and his girlfriend posted a picture on social media of their baby girl today saying she was born on the 23rd, and I decided to give Peter a call to congratulate him. When I called, he was with his girlfriend and the phone was on speaker. I congratulated both of them and said their baby was gorgeous and that they'll be great parents. I then asked Peter, "Did she get your blue eyes?" In the picture they posted on social media, the eye color wasn't visible. Peter and his girlfriend's tone completely changed and his girlfriend said, "Jesus, why are you so concerned by the eye color of my baby? It's so weird." I was pretty taken aback by her reaction. I didn't mean anything by it, I was just curious. I thought this was a normal conversation point. I tried to say I didn't mean to offend her and apologize, but she kinda cut me off and said they were really busy and they had to go. I told my mom what happened and she said that Peter's girlfriend is a new mom and is probably just emotional and thought I was insulting her baby, but that I didn't say anything wrong. However, my sister said I was out of line and that the fascination people have with blue eyes is weird and there were racial implications since Peter's girlfriend is biracial, half Jamaican. This didn't make sense to me. I never said not having blue eyes was bad. My eyes are brown. I was just curious. Am I the idiot here? No idiots here. Just so you know, it could be months before the baby's eye color develops. Most babies are born with a blue or gray looking eye color and it can take months, even up to 3 years, until you see what the true color of their eyes will be. I think you accidentally asked a sensitive question here, being unaware of the complexities of race and mixed-raced babies and the pressures darker skinned people may face to have whiter features, be lighter skinned or not have brown eyes. It is very understandable that your friend was a bit hurt or even offended by your question. I have blue eyes and I get some really weird comments about them sometimes. When my aunt found out I was dating a Dominican guy, her first reaction was about how our hypothetical children wouldn't have my pretty blue eyes. Complete strangers will make comments about my eyes or hair, I'm blonde. A lot of the comments are totally harmless, but some do have a weird undertone. You didn't mean anything by it, but they may have gotten other less innocuous comments that have put them on edge. Especially since the mom is biracial. You probably didn't mean anything by it, but people tend to compliment mixed people on their whiter features. Blue eyes are a typically white feature. She may have felt a bit off-put by that, you implying brown eyes or brown features weren't as good as white ones. And if multiple people were asking, she was probably worked up. Along with that, it was also likely some new mother moodiness. I highly doubt you had any bad intentions, since there you said his side of the family had very nice looking eyes. You definitely weren't out of line for asking, and she may have been a bit dramatic, but I don't know if I'd call her an idiot. That's just me though. My husband and I just bought our first home together. We've been together for 10 years, but got married earlier this year. We finally bought a house after years of saving. It's a 2-story house with a converted attic. The attic is fully insulated and protected, has air conditioning and heat, its own bathroom and bedroom. If it weren't on the attic floor you'd never know it used to be the attic. It's also the largest and the most quiet bedroom in the house. The second floor has 1 small bathroom and 2 very small bedrooms. The first floor is where the master bedroom and bathroom is. My husband and I have 2-year-old twins. We put them in the 2 smallest bedrooms and took the first floor master for ourselves. My husband has a daughter, Tina, from his first marriage. I love Tina very much. Like a lot of children of divorce with step-parents, Tina and I have always been strained. I try to let her know I'm here without crowding her. We're cordial but strained. I wish Tina liked me, but it doesn't stop me from trying. She's 15 now, was 4 when her dad and I got together. Her mom and he were divorced long before I met him. I wasn't a reason for their divorce. Anyway, considering that the 3rd floor bedroom is the most private and quiet, we thought Tina would like it for herself. Because of how insulated it is, my husband and I couldn't take it since we wouldn't be able to hear the babies. And the 2 bedrooms on the 2nd floor are so small we couldn't bunk the twins, there'd be no room to move. One day we hope to renovate and add some room to that floor, but right now it isn't possible. When we showed Tina her new bedroom in our house she flipped out. She accused me of hating her, wishing she didn't exist, how this attic bedroom was my way of banishing her. Accused me of being the evil stepmother. Her dad tried to intervene and Tina said some mean things to him. Then she called her mom and asked to be picked up. In a week since, Tina has refused to come back over, refuses to see me or her siblings, and she's always loved her siblings. Her dad and I, her mom and stepdad, we've all tried to talk to her, but Tina refuses to listen or even just tell us what she's feeling. She says she hates me and that's that. Her mom has been great through this, but a couple weeks ago she suggested her dad and I take a step back and let Tina have some time to make up her own mind. In the meanwhile she would try to help us. Her dad and I will still try and call her a couple times a week. We both text her often, so we haven't stopped trying, but we are giving her space. When pressed, all Tina will say is that it's about that attic bedroom. It's a nice bedroom. We never would have put her in that room if we thought it would hurt her feelings. It was just a bedroom to us. Am I an idiot for putting my stepdaughter in the attic bedroom? I was torn, but I'm going to go with you are the idiot. Interestingly, I was your stepdaughter in this situation a few years ago. My parents bought a house that wasn't big enough for our family, so I got put into the renovated with a bathroom basement. I hated it. It made me feel forgotten and extra, that there wasn't even a room in our house for me. You shouldn't have bought a house that your family doesn't actually fit in. You're the idiot for bad planning. You bought a house without even really thinking of the bedroom situation or your future plans. You did not think about how your stepdaughter would feel about the room. I say this because you did not ask her. You want to have more kids, but there is no room for the kids you have now. You talk about the stairs having 3 turns and being narrow. That is not making her room feel like part of the home. You know, to most teenagers a bedroom is not just a bedroom. It is where they live and spend a lot of time. It is their safe space, and she is feeling like the place which is most like home to her is excluded from the rest of the house. Not the idiot. I wish I had had an attic bedroom when I was 15. She's being an idiot, but a typical teenage idiot. The bedroom is just what she has latched onto as the problem, but it's probably something else, or a myriad of things. She may not even know herself. Maybe your husband can try to talk to her in a neutral location. Seems like her emotions are just bubbling over, and this is an excuse for her to vent. I met my husband 13 years ago. We were married after 2 years of being together. When I first met him, he told me that he had a 2-year-old daughter, that he had no interest in being a father to, and that she wasn't a planned baby. I accepted this, and accepted that he just paid child support and that was it. His child lives with her mom in Pasadena, and we live in Vermont, so as you can imagine, worlds away. My husband never once expressed an interest in going to see his child, maintaining contact. They never spoke or exchanged birthday cards, Christmas cards, etc. My husband said that he never had any intention to be a dad and that this child was born despite his pleas for abortion. I accepted this because I myself am child-free. My childhood was spent slaving away looking after my mother's 5 other children, and while she was constantly on drugs it fell on me to be a mom. I am not okay with children, having children, or wanting to foster maternal bonds with children. When I entered into this relationship, it was 100% done under the trust that my husband had no contact with this child or wanted to be a father. Last year, his daughter made a Facebook account and reached out to him. She spilled her heart out, said she had sleuthed her way into finding her father, she wanted a relationship desperately, etc. My husband came to me in turmoil and in tears asked for permission to go and see her. I was angry, my world had turned upside down, my own place in his world had now changed, everything was different, but I swallowed my hurt and never once did I let him feel my own fear. I told him to go and make his peace. Since then he has regularly flown to see her. He has had an apparent complete change of heart and has taken on the role of daddy with enthusiasm and gusto, to the delight of both his daughter and her mother. A few weeks ago, he sat down and had a serious talk with me. He said he knew my stance on children, but he begged me to integrate this child into my life, to let her come and stay with us from time to time, to open my heart to her. I told him I couldn't do that. I said I would rather divorce than be a step-parent to a child I never knew would be in my life. To be clear, I honestly 100% know for certain that they had never communication since before last year. Had I known, I would have left as it's unfair to this child, she only has one father, whereas I can go and find another partner. I feel horrible. I feel like a terrible person, like I'm an evil witch, but I also feel like this is horribly unfair to me. Any insights on if my behavior is idiot-like would be very much appreciated. Not the idiot. You met and married this man with some very serious and honest promises made. He has broken them, apparently, permanently. As a child-free person, myself, I cannot think of any reason you should be considered an idiot in any way. I also do not think you are under any obligation whatsoever to meet his child. Him asking you to do so is not okay, for you are the child. You married him because you trusted his promise he had no interest in this child. He married you, knowing full well that you never want children or stepchildren. I see a divorce in your near future. From what I understood, you clearly told your husband you never want to be a parent. He also told you that he doesn't have an interest in ever being one as well. Now, he seems to have had a change of mind seeing what became of his child, and that's completely understandable. You would be an idiot if you would tell him to completely ghost her, you didn't though. A child coming into one's life can be a very big change, and your husband also knew what your opinion on children is. That's why I think in this case he is the idiot when thinking it's okay to force you into being a maternal figure. Others would say you should at least try being a mother and maybe you will get along, but you chose not to do it, and that is completely fine in my opinion. You should leave. He wants a relationship with his kid and you don't. You aren't heartless for not wanting to be in her life, he is essentially asking you to do something you express disinterest in. Being a step-parent is really hard on both the child and step-parent. I'm a step-parent to 2 young boys, so I know it's hard. But if you don't want to be around her and don't want to make your husband feel as though he has to choose, you should divorce. He wants things now that you've already said no to, being a parent. You didn't sign up to be her stepmom. You were under the impression that he never wanted to be a dad and that you never have to step into the role of parent. To paint a picture. My parents divorced when I was very young. They both got new relationships, and I never really got on with one of my step-parents, who used to pick on me. I was a very small child, saying things like I was ugly, I would be pretty if I changed this or that about myself, and the parent didn't really do anything about it, saying stuff like that is just the way they are, just accept it. Stuff like that. Without going too much into details, that parent plus the step-parent played favorites a lot, and it resulted in me having a diagnosed inferiority complex, depression, and a plethora of other things that apparently are normal for children whose parents used to play favorites. Now, on to the relevant part. When my sibling went to college, they paid for everything. That sibling does not have study debts. In the agreement with my other parent, they were supposed to split what they had saved for college over the both of us, but I never saw a cent of this money. Then I went away for college, and they never spent a single cent on me. The neglect was not only financial, but also emotional. I know I shouldn't really have expected my parent to be all loving all of a sudden, but even though I already rung the bell, saying that if they continue to treat me the way they do, the situation is no longer tenable for me, since my birthday in 2019, that parent has spontaneously contacted me once. And I say spontaneously, because the other times were either at what time I would come by on a birthday, or that I owed them money for using my public transport card. I recently found out that in my country, parents are obligated to support their child until they turn 21. The obligation doesn't just stop at 18. And I could, very easily, send a debt collector their way to collect a few thousand they should have supported my with in the first place, cause money accumulates over time. I checked with a legal company, so I know that legally I am in the clear. They clearly have the money to spend on extravagant gifts for their other children, and it isn't like I am asking for more than what I am legally owed, and way less than they spent on my other sibling. I am pretty sure, though, that if I do it, I would be the ultimate devil in their eyes, and the relationship is over forever, which I am fine with, but it could put the sibling I have contact with in a difficult situation. So, would I be the idiot? Not the idiot, get everything you're owed. Your parents treated you badly by favoring your sibling like this. Make sure to sue them for interest as well, and have the legal company look into any possible ways to get money from them to make up for what your sibling got in your place. You're cutting contact anyway, might as well make as much from it as you legally can. You're the idiot. Not because you want to file a lawsuit against your parents, but because you're going to ruin your life financially when you lose. The only thing you will have to show for this will be less family and more debt. You're going to sue someone who has a lot of money to hire real legal counsel, and they will bury you in court costs, motions, and other legal trickery that you can't afford to fight, resulting in having to abandon your lawsuit only to get countersued for legal fees. Do what you have to do to finish your education. If that means suing them, then do so. If that means cutting off all ties with them, then do so. They have already established a pattern of behavior that you must know will not change, so what have you got to lose? At least get a good education out of this situation. And then live by the motto, the best revenge is living well. Good luck to you.